All right. Hey, team. April Owens here, Plexus Ambassador. And I'm pretty sure everybody in here probably knows me. Myself and Heather are going to be kind of tag teaming on this one here tonight. And basically, I'm a total extrovert. I don't mind making friends in the grocery store line. I literally do that. Um, and it's just natural to me. My dad was the same way. So, and then Heather, she sees herself as more of an introvert, and so we thought this would be good because people want to know how to reach out to people. So we thought this would be awesome. Kind of both perspectives from an extrovert perspective and from an introvert perspective. The first thing I did want to talk about, though, I did want to touch a little bit on posting on social media and how to make effective posts. Um, the first thing I would say when it comes to social media, branch out. Facebook is awesome. It's been wonderful for us. But Instagram, Twitter, which of course you can't post too much on Twitter, but you can get people following you and stuff like that. Pinterest, I don't really know anything about that one yet. It's on my list of things to learn, but I mean, there's all kinds of ways to do this. There are people who have built their business solely on Facebook. There are people who have built their business solely on Instagram. But I can tell you that if you can find a way to work it all in, you're going to go that much further, that much faster. But I would say, whatever you do, whatever type of social media that you're using, first thing I would say is keep a very good balance. If you friend someone and they go to your page and they see it's just Plexus, ProBio 5, Triplex, Ease, and it's just Plexus, 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 they're going to say, this person's just trying to sell me something, and they're going to tune you out or not friend you or whatever. So keep it a good, healthy medium. I try, and I don't always get it, but I like to do one personal post for one Plexus post. So if I post 3 times a day on Plexus, which right now I'm in a challenge group, so I'm having to post 3 times a day on Plexus, which is great. It definitely gets it out there, but trying to keep a good balance of putting personal things out there as well. And like with those 3 posts, trying to space them out throughout the day. So spacing out my personal posts throughout the day as well, so that it's not just, at 7 o'clock at night, I bombard Facebook with 3 different Plexus posts. So we're trying to keep a good medium there on personal and Plexus related posts. Post business and financial related ones with Plexus, and post results driven ones or product information. I think a good mix is 1 product information a day, 1 results style post. That can be simple as, I remember this time 2 years ago, I could hardly sleep at night, and now I sleep like a baby. And just leave it at that. Everything you post doesn't have to say, so you need to buy Plexus today. So keep people guessing. Get them interested enough to ask you a question, because that is key. You need to get a flow of information back and forth between 2 people. That's how you get people on your team. That's how you get customers. And try not to be a negative Nancy on Facebook or on any kind of social media. That doesn't mean that bad things don't happen. That doesn't mean that sometimes we don't have to say, hey guys, I could really use prayer right now or whatever. But complaining about local businesses, boy, that is something I don't do. But then again, I'm also a local business owner in town. So that's definitely not something that I do, but it's something I would definitely discourage it for anybody on our team, or for anybody who is trying to build a business in social media. Keep it positive. It doesn't mean you have to have the fake Facebook family 24/7. You can be real and you can be raw, but the main thing I would say is don't run others down, whether it's a business where you had a really bad experience. A lot of times we just want to vent. And I can tell you this, in all honesty, I'll take out the notes on my phone before I ever consider a lot of times posting something, and I will type it all out. And sometimes it is a big old vent, it is a big old rant. And when I'm done, I will reread it, and then I will delete it, and I no longer need to post it. It is total therapy. Do it. It works. It's like journaling, but then I can delete it and it's gone. I can forget about it. So, but anyway, I just wanted to kind of touch on that as far as posting on social media and kind of keeping things balanced. I want to turn it over to Heather, let her talk about how she approaches people, how she reaches out to people, because one of the number one things I hear from people is, oh, I'm not a salesman. Oh, I really can't do what you do. And I can see why they would say that to me, because I've been in sales all of my life in one shape or another. So, and I'm very outgoing. I don't mind talking to anybody. But I definitely like to get it from an introvert's perspective, because I tell people all the time, yeah, but my friend Heather, but if they don't know Heather, then, you know, it's kind of a moot point to them. So anyways, I'm going to turn it over to Heather. Let her talk to you about how she reaches out to people.
Well, hi guys. Sorry for the bad lighting. I'm in my car so that my kids don't interrupt me. But I wanted to let you know that introverts can do this business. I am highly intimidated by every single person I've ever met, for the most part. There's only a couple of people that don't intimidate me. But for me, this has been a faith walk, like I was sharing with some of you earlier. And so I've been like, okay, Lord, just tell me who to approach and draw people to me and help me to know what to say to them. So a big part of my journey is praying. And then as far as something that's really, really helped me is the way I approach people. And for me, I look for the people that are posting that they're sick or posting something. For example, someone would post, I hate, we're trying to keep this compliant. I hate that my daughter has to do all these needles all the time. And then I would private message them and ask them why their daughter has to do all the needles all the time. And I'm so sorry that they would open up to me and share that their daughter has something that needs needles. And so I would share with them that, you know, well, my wording is, may I share something that's helped others? And when I use that phrase, it opens doors. I mean, I've only had like 1 or 2 negative responses out of hundreds and hundreds of responses. People normally say sure, or they say yes, or please share. I love that one. Please share. And so then I get to share with them. And before I was just sending them testimonies without asking their permission. And when you ask their permission, it just opens them up more on a different level. So I just want to encourage all the introverts out there that you can do this. It is possible, and you don't have to turn into an extrovert in order to make it happen either. What am I missing, April? I feel like I've forgot.
So I have a couple questions for you. Do you reach out to people in person ever, like people from church, or people in everyday life, people you just, I don't know, you're getting your hair cut and the person next to you is talking? Do you ever reach out to those people in person?
I do. I have to, because I think it's really hard for me, I'll just be honest. But when I hear somebody say, I've got this whatever that they're dealing with, I have to dig down and go, oh my goodness, if someone had not shared with me, then I would be in the same boat. And so I dig down deep and I share with them. I said, and you know, and then the big thing for me as an introvert, and I don't know if this is true of all introverts, but for me is I don't want to be rejected, and I don't want them to tell me no, and I want them to accept what I've said. And so I have to prepare before I say it that this is going out and I'm leaving it at the Lord's feet and not going to care about how they respond. That is their journey and not my journey. The way they respond is their journey. And so, yeah.
So you would say that you reach out more from a place of like it's your duty.
Yes. Yes.
That definitely makes it easier. as you build your belief in the products and as you build your belief in the business, that comes naturally. Not necessarily all your fears are gone, but that whole, it's my job to tell these people. I know for me, the first person, because I used to just do the warm market thing, I would just post on Facebook and let people ask me questions, let people come to me. Aside from my family, I made them do it. But, it's, for instance, okay, when it comes to reaching out, my number one, my primary leg is Heather Grenier, right there. She is Senior Ruby, by the way, in case I didn't say that already. And basically, she's the first person I ever reached out to directly, and this never really hit me until very recently. That now she had liked a lot of my posts for months, but she had never commented on a single one. She had never asked me a single question. And I think she posted something about maybe a financial struggle that their family was dealing with, And so I thought, okay, God, you've given me this opportunity. I'm making really great money over here doing next to nothing. How do I do this? And I was nervous. I thought, oh, she's going to think that I'm just trying to suck her into something, or sell her something. And I even went back recently because it was on Facebook messages, and I went, because that stuff, it keeps it forever unless you delete it. I went back 3.5 years or 3 years, however long it's been, and I found that original message that I sent to Heather, and I was just amazed. I just kind of poured my heart out there and was like, look, this is what I'm doing. It's working for me. I want you to pray about this because, I think it's something you could do. But look where it's gotten me. I mean, that's where most of my points are coming from, is definitely from her leg. And then here lately, over the since January, I started a challenge group. And in the beginning, it was posting 3 times a day, reaching out to 2 new people. Oh, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be reaching out to the people. I'm like, that is so far outside my comfort zone. I may have even fudged it a few times and said I did it. And let me tell you what, it didn't do me any good. So I was reaching out to people, but I was really mostly reaching out to old ambassadors who had gone inactive, because I kind of felt like, these people already loved the products, but for whatever reason they had gone inactive. So I'm going to reach back out to them. So I did that. That was very helpful. That got me more comfortable with reaching out. So then I started just reaching out. And I can tell you, okay, in the last 2 months, I have personally signed 12 new ambassadors, but 10 of those have come in the last 30 days. And so 2 of them came from 2 months ago. 10 of them came from the last 30 days. The difference is, in the last 45 days, I have started reaching out, because, well, my challenge says I'm supposed to reach out to 2 new people a day. I'm like, if I can reach out to 2, I can reach out to 5. So that's my goal now, is to reach out to 5 new people a day. Sometimes, and I've definitely started reaching out more business oriented instead of products oriented. Network marketing professionals will tell you, lead with the opportunity, default on the products. So if I message someone and I say, hey, my husband and I are involved with this company, we're making incredible money, and I literally run my business from my phone. A lot of times I'll send them the meme that shows like the average monthly income by rank that Plexus ambassadors make. I'll tell them mine and my husband's rank. They can do the math for themselves. And I get a lot of good response out of that. Some people ignore it. And the good thing about it, if they ignore you, that just gives you an opportunity to follow up with them. If they tell you no, this is where you can default on the products, and this is where you can ask for referrals. So at that point, I would say probably the best thing to do at that point is to ask for referrals. And you say, oh, okay, I completely understand, this isn't for you. But do you know anybody who maybe struggles to lose weight, has trouble sleeping, needs more energy, the kind of things that, our products say that they help with, like on the website, help manage pain naturally, things like that. And a lot of times if you ask them, well, do you know anybody who suffers from? That gets their wheels turning. They're like, well, yeah, I do. Or well, I've gotten this one. Well, I do. Well, I don't have any energy. Why? What is this? And so a lot of times that opens the opportunity for the products. But just remember, just because someone has said no to the business, it's only a no for now. And it doesn't mean that, down the road they won't be ready. But it's not a no to you. It's just a no to running this business at this time. And it's not a no to the products. So you can still tell them, because it's my belief. I'm sorry, this dog's going wild. It is my honest to goodness belief there is nobody on the face of this earth that cannot benefit from our products. Some people need them more than others, but I believe everybody out there could benefit from them. At least one or more of the products. And so, asking them about that and letting them know, okay, well, no problem. But if you would ever, like to try the products, I would love to get to work with you, things like that, to where you're still leaving it open-ended as a customer, because you still have the opportunity to gain that person as a customer. And as we know, Plexus pays well for customers. So definitely reach out that way. I know that Heather tends to reach out more products oriented. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I'm reaching out more opportunity oriented or business oriented. Let me think here. Oh, okay. Sometimes you have to look at who you're talking to and kind of judge, is this going to be more of a products person or more of a business person? For instance, if someone comments on a business post where I talk about, earning money in your spare time, and they comment on that, I'm going to, first of all, immediately I say, I will PM you, or I will message you, because you want to take it private. You don't want to put all that out there on social media for everybody. Just because the person's not going to be as comfortable talking to you and asking questions in that way, even though they started with a little one.
Sorry, and also when you say I'll PM you, other people are like, wait, I want you to PM me too. Like they want to know what's going on.
Exactly. And if it's all out there in comments, then you don't know who's reading it, so you don't know who has some interest and maybe just needs a nudge. So right. Definitely tell them I'll PM you, and I get that. Well, message me too. I want to know too. So if they're asking about it from the financial standpoint, from the business side of it, I'm not going to send them a bunch of product information. I'm going to go straight to the business, how we run our business, and what they can expect if they want to work it as a hobby, or if they want to work it as a full-time business, so that's definitely where I go. If it's a comment on about having energy, or about somebody else's testimony that I've posted, or about weight loss, anything like that, and then of course I'll talk about the products. And let's see, you know what, Heather and I were talking about something earlier today that I did want to touch on when it comes to posting, and in general, even with reaching out to people. I would encourage everybody on our team to not be so weight loss oriented with Plexus, because everybody wants to lose their extra weight in about this much time, and we all know we didn't gain it in that much time. We're going to lose it in that much time. Are there things out there? Sure. Are they natural and healthy for you? No. I know, I've done them in the past. So just I do show weight loss results. I have a good weight loss testimony, and and I've kept it off for, we're going on 4 years now that I've been with Plexus, but I've kept my weight off for about 3.5 years. Um, but if you push it too hard from a weight loss standpoint, then you're going to get very short-term customers. You're going to get the ones who order for a month, they didn't lose their 30 pounds, and now they want their money back, or they just turn off their shipment, and you'll never hear from them again. When you follow up with them, they won't comment, they won't tell you what's going on. I definitely come at it from a health standpoint, just a total body health. I talk about how my family, none of us have been sick in 3 years. Not, like the flu or strep, anything like that. And, all those little things that little kids come home with, all those little bugs that my kids used to have, they don't have those anymore. And that's huge to a mom. I mean, if you've got one of those kids that are sick all the time and you feel helpless, they're miserable all the time. And so it's you tug on the heartstrings a lot with posts about your kids. And let's face it, I mean, those of us with kids, we're like, oh my goodness, I want that for my kid, So, I mean, it's not a gotcha kind of thing, but it's just being raw and being real. When you are reaching out to people, whether it's in person and you're talking to them about it, don't give them too much information, because people will glaze over. They tune out. You can practically see, the wash come over their face, and now they're just they have tuned out. They don't hear a word you say at that point. When people say, "What is Plexus? How does it work?" anything along those lines, it took Lori a while to realize what people wanted to hear, and then she passed it along to us. What they want to know is the fact that it is a drink stick you mix up in a bottle of water and drink every morning, and a couple of capsules that you take. That's literally what they want to know. Even when they say, how does it work? They don't want to know how it regulates your blood sugar. They don't want to know how it can help, keep you at healthy lipid levels. They don't want to know the ins and outs about, well, what makes it burn fat and not muscle. They literally want to know, what do I have to do? Do I have to drink shakes? Is it a meal replacement? These are the things that are going through their head, because these are the things that they've tried that probably worked for a little while. But then, as we all know, when we stop drinking the shakes and we go back to eating real food, we gain all of our weight back. So that's the main thing that people want to know. It's a drink stick. You mix it up in a bottle of water and drink it every morning. Take a couple of capsules. Then you follow that up with, especially if it's like something on social media where they have just directly messaged you about, well, what is this stuff? Follow it up with a question. You want to keep that conversation going, and you want to make it about them, not about everything you have to tell them and all the amazing testimonies that they're going to want to hear. Because the truth of the matter is, at that moment, they're not ready for that information. What they want to know is, it's a drink stick you mix up in a bottle of water every morning and a couple of capsules that you take. So that people, if you can try that a few times, you will see how much it works. Because I used to think, oh, whatever. And I would give a rundown of exactly how Plexus works, exactly how the Slim works, why the probiotic works, why our probiotic is better than their probiotic, why our cleanse works. And I would give them the whole rundown, and they wouldn't respond. And probably because they saw it was, 2 paragraphs or more long, and they're like, I'm not reading that. 2 sentences and then a question. If you can make yourself do that, try it a few times, and you'll see people are asking questions. And then you're like, wait a minute, this is working better. I'm kind of stubborn. I'm kind of like, I'll prove you wrong, and, I'll do it my way. And when I find out that someone else's way actually does work better, I will admit it, though. So, hey, Lori's way does work better. But The one of the big questions that we all get is when you start that conversation, or sometimes it's the first question right off the bat. How much does it cost? You honestly don't want to answer this question. Not because we have anything to hide. All of our prices are out there. Anybody can see them at any time. I carry a price list in my phone at all times just because I can't remember the prices. And a lot of times people will say things like, as a wholesale buyer, how much do I save every month? And I'm like, oh, I don't remember. So I have to look in my phone really quick to see what the savings is. But,
Right.
I will talk about that once they're, on this, okay, this, if I buy this way versus buy this way, I talk about the savings, for sure. But, if someone just is asking, especially on social media, well, how much does this cost? I mean, this is not necessarily someone who, you hang out with on the weekends. This isn't necessarily someone who, you go shopping with, here and there. I mean, most of our social media friends aren't people that we're super close to. So these are people who they're already interested. If they were bold enough to send you a message or respond to your reaching out to them and they have a question, they're already very interested. And in all honesty, the moment that they say, how much does it cost? They already want the products. They already want the business. If it's a business thing, they already want the business. Don't talk yourself out of that. And as soon as you start talking numbers, it's not about how much it costs. Our probiotic is cheap, but people will tune out when they start hearing numbers. They're starting to calculate, okay, so if I buy that this month, then, I'm going to have to take money out of here. I'm going to have to not go out to dinner Friday night, and then we were planning a date night, and I'm not sure I'm going to have the money for that now. So don't ever talk numbers, even face-to-face with people, because here's the goodness to honest truth right here. You don't know exactly what products they're going to buy, and you don't know which way they're going to buy. We have 3 different price points. We have retail, we have preferred, and we have wholesale. And you could talk about the preferred numbers, and then they go and they click on retail, and now they're like, well, that's not the numbers that she told me. So don't assume how they're going to want to buy it, and just stay away from the numbers part of it. Here's how I respond to that. I have a blurb. It's saved in the notes on my phone. It's about that long. And it says, go to, and it has my website. And it says, click on Shop Plexus, choose preferred. So I've already walked them through the steps on how to find the best price as a customer. And then I say, you can see all the products and pricing there. And where it says choose preferred, it does say, something about saves $5 to $10 per product or something like that. And so they're like, oh, okay, well, I'll look at that preferred option. And it automatically gives them the pop-up that explains about the monthly auto ship and all that. And then they can see all the prices there for themselves. They can see what products that, pique their interest. But anytime you're answering any of these questions, always try to follow it up with a question. And try for something they have to answer, not just a yes or no. Like, are you asking for yourself? Is it for a family member? Things like that, trying to get them to open up about why they're wanting the products, because you can kind of help guide them if you know what they're looking for, what their goal is with the products. So if you know that they're, needing energy, or if you know that they're, looking for weight loss, especially when people are looking for weight loss, I want to set up real expectations from the beginning. And I tell them, look, this is not a fast weight loss product. This is a health product. And, when you get your health in check, the weight will come off. You're going to see that as a result of getting healthy. You're going to see your body fat percentage go down. You're going to see, yourself shrink in inches. So I definitely try to set up real expectations. I don't ever tell someone, yeah, you should try it for 60 days. I bet you'll lose 20 pounds or something silly like that, because I mean, you don't know. And when I'm trying to think of the questions that people have been asking me, because I get messages and texts all day long. Hey, this is the question that someone just asked me. How do I respond? Like today, one of them was someone that was asking about the business, and they were talking, first of all, on comments. And I was like, okay, take it to a PM immediately. Tell them, hey, I'm going to private message you. And I told them to tell them, because they didn't ask a thing in the world about what Plexus is. They just said, okay, I'm interested in knowing about the business, like how does it work? And so I told her, okay, tell them a little bit, tell them that we're a health and wellness company, that we sell natural health supplements. And, it's $34 to become an ambassador. And, you get your own website immediately where people can order from you. We get paid commissions on all orders from our website, whether it's our own or our customers' orders. And and I talk about the people can also join your team, immediately from that point. And then I will tell them, a great thing about it is you'll also get a one-time opportunity to buy a welcome pack when you sign up. They're either $99 or $199. That's probably the only time I ever discuss price is when I'm talking about welcome packs. And these are generally people who are like, okay, I'm really thinking I want to do this business, because a lot of times they want to know, well, how much is it going to cost for me to really get up and running with it? Yeah, it's $34.95 for your website, but then they're like, but what about the products? Like, how can I get into it? What's the best way? And so I tell them about the triplex welcome pack for $99, or I say, if you and a spouse wants to do it, or if you and, whatever, we have the double triplex option. And so that's how I approach it from a business standpoint. But something that has been really taking me out of my comfort zone, and probably everybody in here, we have gotten so used to social media and texting that we don't like to actually get on the phone anymore. Many of you don't have your video on because we don't want to see people anymore. we want to hide. But something that I've been learning and that I've been growing with is, and this came from a network marketing professional, Sarah Robbins. Boy, she cut right to the heart of me when she says, stop hiding behind Facebook. And I was like, oh, how dare she? Because I've been hiding behind Facebook for about 4 years now. And I'm stepping out. I'm calling people. We're doing 3-way calls. We're clearly doing Zoom meetings. And letting someone hear your voice, hear your excitement, hear your passion is huge. Meeting with someone face to face, if it's someone local at a coffee shop or for lunch or whatever. I recommend public places if these aren't people you know very well. I just would like to throw that out there. Like, I'm not going to meet some man in the parking lot of Walmart after dark or something like that, or even a woman, because if it's someone I don't know, it may not actually be a woman. You never know. But I say, like Starbucks, it's busy 24/7. There's always a little table somewhere, and there's always plenty of people around. Something like that, a coffee shop, very good option. But if it's people especially, my girlfriends will be like, you know what, we really need to do lunch so I can hear more about Plexus. And I'm like, fabulous, let's do that, But the one area that has been the hardest is telephone. We hate to talk on the phone now. Literally, let me look. Nobody in this room that I know has rejected my phone call when I called them, but then responded to my text 4 seconds later. But I do have ambassadors like that, and it's mostly the younger ones. They will not answer their phone, but they will text you immediately. The second you message them, man, they are texting you right back. I even have a family member who's the exact same way, and we see each other. We hang out all the time, but she's 20, low 20s. I don't know. She just doesn't like to talk on the phone to people. And I was telling her today, we've got to get on these 3-way calls. These things are working. She wants to go silver this month, and I'm like, you're going to have to get out from behind that texting. You're going to have to get out from behind the Facebook. We're got to get on the phone. And she, immediately starts, oh, I don't know. I don't have time. I don't have time. I'm like, you have 5 minutes for a phone call. Don't give me that. If you can text with me for 25 minutes straight, you can find 5 minutes to talk on the phone. So, I'm a little harsher with her. Huh?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
And if you don't have your own passion yet, or you're nervous, or you're new, that's where the 3-way calls and the 3-way Zooms, they really are effective, because I have the passion and April has the passion, and you can do one with someone who already has some of these, who's not afraid of the questions that make him out of the phone call or out of the meeting. So absolutely. I want to encourage you guys to meet up with us too.
So yeah, anybody on this call, I am more than happy to do 3-way calls with, and those don't have to be intimidating. And it may sound a little bit intimidating. It can be like this, especially if you're already talking to someone and they're already interested. Hey, you know what? I think you've probably got some questions that I'm not real familiar with, but my sponsor or my friend April, who's been doing this for 4 years, man, she can answer these questions. Do you mind if I get her on the phone real quick? And most of the time people are okay with that. I don't want to trick anybody into 3-way calls or anything like that. I want to be open and upfront about, that we're doing it. And it's not a gotcha. It's like a 5-minute, oh, hey, yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad that you're interested in Plexus. And, what is your reason, because you want to know, is it a products thing? Is it a business thing? I'm going to ask them, what their goal is, or what, why they're interested in Plexus. And I'm just going to give them a quick rundown on whatever it is that they're interested in, and I'm going to throw them back to you. And they hear my excitement, they hear my passion, and they're like, wow, okay. And so a lot of times they're ready to sign up, either that day or rather quickly, or, when they get paid or whatever it is. But then, it's back in your court. I did my little part and I bowed out. Now it's your turn to help them get signed up, either as a customer or as a ambassador. And I listened in on a call last night that was amazing. It was a Zoom. I posted it in my training group. Heather, did you post that call with Bridget in yours?
Yes.
Okay, guys, go watch that. I was up most of the night last night because I was so pumped up after watching her just talk about how she's run her business, that I've been writing down notes, and I've been, okay, how are we going to implement all these things? But it's one of the things that she talked about is not using the word ambassador, but using the word wholesale buyer. So when you're talking to someone who's interested in the products, but maybe not the business side, I wouldn't use the word ambassador, which this is new to me. I'm going to start using wholesale buyer. So when people ask me, well, what does that entail? It's because when I say, well, you can become an ambassador for $34.95. Oh, I don't do sales. And I'm like, oh, no. You can just get the wholesale price for that. Oh, but and they're automatically put off. They're scared that they don't know what they're getting themselves into, But if you say wholesale buyer, you can become a wholesale buyer for $34.95. And, you can explain that $34.95 is kind of like a Sam's Club fee. It gets you in the club, and then you're able to buy at those cheaper prices because you've paid your $34.95. And then you can tell them, and if you have any friends or family who may be interested in the products as well, you can actually gain commission off your own product orders, or theirs. So, but definitely, I would recommend using that wholesale buyers as opposed to ambassadors when you're talking to a customer about the different price points, or a potential customer about the different price points. Go to that wholesale buyer lingo. I think we'll get a lot of mileage out of that. Let me think. So when answering questions, try for maybe 2 sentences. Follow it up with a question that they need to answer. Something like, are you asking for yourself? Do you have any health issues that you're dealing with personally? Try to get them talking, because if you can get them to tell their story, to tell what it is that they're looking for, then you can find their why, even if they don't know what their why is. And, if you can help them figure out why it is that they really are interested, then you can know how to direct them. You can know what way to direct them in. Heather?
Yeah?
Did you have a question?
No.
Oh, I thought you were waving.
Oh, no, I just was checking the time on my phone.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. But those are really the points that I have written down here. Heather, if there's anything that you want to throw in there, and if anybody has any questions, just unmute yourself and holler those at me. Did you have anything, Heather?
No, but if anyone had any questions about any of this, or even any other questions, maybe we could stop the recording and
Yeah.
have any